Have you ever thought to yourself, why did this game I love shut down?
So Epic Games acquired Mediatonic. Various balancing issues were still present. And this is going to be a recurring theme with XDefiant's history, timing.
Luckily, there's a show that's just as curious as you are. Be sure to catch new episodes of So What Happened To, right here on RatedEm.
Doom 2016 is widely regarded as a masterpiece, a true return to form for the series, saving it from extinction and throwing it back into the limelight. However, there was a Doom game in production before the final product we received in 2016, a game simply titled Doom 4, but internally referred to as Call of Doom. Following a realistic, grounded narrative about a human resistance fighting an invasion of hell on Earth, the game would have been much more in line with military shooters of the time, such as Battlefield or Call of Duty. So in today's episode of Game Graveyard, we're taking a look at the scrapped Doom 4. So actually, before I talk about the realistic Doom 4, I want to talk about the more sci-fi Doom 4 that was pitched before that one. A Croatian development team by the name of Crow Team pitched a sequel to Doom 3 to id Software, and was likely meant to be more in line with the sci-fi atmosphere of Doom 3. There's one screenshot of what might be a demo of this pitch that alludes to this. Ultimately, this pitch was rejected because of the time zone differences and language barriers between the two companies. Now onto id Software's Doom 4. The game was meant to have more of a grounded, realistic military focus in which the player would be a member of a human resistance fighting off the invasion of Earth from the demons of hell. The cutting room floor puts it as, if Doom 3 was a reimagining of the original Doom, then Doom 4 would have been a reimagining of Doom 2. As mentioned earlier, it took many inspirations from Call of Duty and Battlefield, focusing on a more realistic setting of near-future America. Many of the screenshots straight up look like environments from COD 4 or even Gears of War. Multiple animations were made for the game, likely to be part of what would be a reveal trailer, and there's also a bunch of unfinished animations that were intended to be used within the game. There's this one of the Spider Mastermind that I think looks really cool, and the visual of it climbing over a highway really shows that there is a big push for these cinematic scripted events. The glory kill system would originate in this project, although it was called Synced Melee. From what I gathered, you would input a button combination to play a specific animation for finishing an enemy off. However, this was reworked into the glory kill system that we see in Doom 2016, where it is merely an animation that plays with one button press. This was changed to maintain the fast-paced gameplay that Doom 2016 would utilize. There was even set to be a multiplayer mode in which two teams would fight each other, no different from a Call of Duty multiplayer mode. But the twist is that there was a kill streak-like system that allowed you to summon demons. In this clip, there's a couple of players fighting, and then the player who we're watching switches to a minigun to fight the demon that the enemy team summoned. A lot of work was done on this project, so why was it canned? What happened in between this version of the game and the one we got?
Need a new form of entertainment in your life? Join the thousands of others who have considered subscribing. Side effects may include joy, laughter, and newfound knowledge about video games. Talk to your doctor about if subscribing is right for you.
You're watching RatedEm. Don't touch that remote.
The simple answer is that the game was just not Doom. The game was merely a trend-following attempt at keeping Doom alive. It went against everything that the series stands for, and even the developers knew it. Studio director Tim Willits was even quoted saying, "It didn't have the passion and the soul of what an id game is." Everyone knows the feeling of Doom, but it's very hard to articulate. Sure, the game looked great and it had a lot going for it, but it was just not what Doom was known for. Doom at its heart was an action game. It was never supposed to be a cinematic experience. It would have been a great game, but it would have been a terrible Doom game. The game was ultimately scrapped and reworked into the Doom we got in 2016 and saw massive success. It managed to tell a dedicated story while also keeping the series' core pillars standing strong. Doom is now back to being relevant within the gaming sphere and is now one of Xbox's flagship series.